After a family rescued this orphaned newborn kitten, they gave him the most unlikely protector. Every defenseless newborn kitten needs someone to look after them. Some of them are lucky enough to have their mommies. Sometimes humans step up to fill that role. In 2015, then, a Japanese household received an addition to their ranks, a little baby kitten, and the cat couldn't have been more than 3 days old, and his eyes hadn't even opened. At that time, he was alone, and he was about 3 days after his birth. Narashima told the feline news site Love Meow in July 2016. So the kitten's humans took responsibility for his care and duly gave him the name Coma. At such a young age, Coma needed round-the-clock care from his human providers. Kittens usually get their nourishment from their mother's milk, but alternatively can develop just fine on formula. Feeding aside, the family's new charge also needed to be kept warm, so although a kitten usually retains its heat by being close to its mother and siblings, Coma's new family provided an alternative. But there is something cuter to come. At an early stage in Coma's development, his humans decided that they wanted to chronicle his growth from helpless little kitten to independent cat. Indeed, while Coma already had his heroes, one more couldn't hurt. As a result, one of his new family members gave him an action figure of Ultraman, a famous Japanese superhero. In his TV series, Ultraman acts as a protector of the weak and fights against invading aliens to defend the Earth from destruction. Naturally, then, he was a good guardian for tiny Coma. That is, they both had the ability of super fast growth. In order to battle invading monsters, for example, Ultraman grows to tower over the buildings. Nevertheless, it seemed as if Coma was going to soon tower over his hero, and of course, Ultraman kept watch over his charge every step of the way. For Coma, meanwhile, it was love at first sight. He adored his Ultraman. In turn, the action figure guarded Coma when he slept and kept him company when his humans couldn't be by his side. Indeed, when Coma first opened his eyes, Ultraman was there, and when the kitten started to walk by himself, the action figure was seemingly full of encouragement. Coma couldn't have asked for a more loyal and attentive buddy, in fact. In no time at all, little Coma started to outgrow his Ultraman, at least in size. But while the hero was no longer the biggest of the two, the fur baby still made time for his friend. Needless to say, moreover, it wasn't just Ultraman who adored Coma, as the kitty's photo album won over the internet with its cuteness. Now the kitten and his hero have more than 68,000 followers on Instagram, with many of them seemingly unable to get enough of the daring duo. This kitty has the cutest story about Ultraman growing up with him. One Instagram user wrote about the adorable pair, "I can't handle the cuteness," exclaimed another. "You have to follow this ginger and his bestie, the superhero," one commenter told his friend, and no matter how big Coma got, Ultraman was right there with him. Yes, Coma and Ultraman practiced their battle moves together to prepare for alien invaders. They never played too rough, however, and always remained the best of friends. One could even say that Ultraman acted like a big brother to Coma. Like true family, he was there for the bad times as well as the good, and to pick Coma up when he'd fallen down, metaphorically speaking, of course. Interestingly, though, in Japan, cats are oftentimes thought of as lucky. For example, a given home or business, there will sometimes have a maneki neko, or fortune cat, to beckon good luck across its threshold. Meanwhile, Coma celebrated his first birthday in September 2016, and naturally, Ultraman put aside saving the world for a day to help his best friend celebrate. What's more, with their party pictures later uploaded to Instagram, thankfully the daring duo's fans got to help celebrate as well. Indeed, Following the visual diary of Coma and his best buddy is the cutest thing. It's also an amazing sight into how a kitten can turn from a defenseless little ball of fur into a full-grown feline capable of standing on his own four paws.